Hey everyone, this is Trucker Wayne with Pam Transport. How's everybody today? Hopefully safe and healthy out there. We're going to talk about winter driving tips, episode number 2. Winter driving does not have to be all that bad. It can get bad, but if you're prepared, it makes it much easier. But before we get into that, did you know that, and you don't have to be a PAM employee, if you go to pamdrivingjobs.com, you can get current jobs that are available sent to your inbox. For example, let's say you live in San Antonio and you're looking for a job that's running through San Antonio. You can go to pamdrivingjobs.com and you can put in there San Antonio, and if a job opens up that runs through San Antonio, it'll go into your inbox. How easy is that? You do not have to be an employee. If you're looking to get a certain job in the town that you're in, go to pamdrivingjobs.com. All right, let's talk about winter driving. It's so important in winter driving that you be prepared, right? Now, yesterday we talked about chains. I want to elaborate just a little bit. I got a lot, and I get this every year. If you have to put the chains on, you should stop. Anyone that's followed me over the last 8 years, we all know, I think it's common sense that no load is worth your life. But also, there's times where you might not, if you're in Colorado, you got to get over I-70. They might have a chain law for 7 days straight. So, I was chain and go in my other former company, and not chain and go here, right? You have to make smart decisions in what you do. Just because I had to put chains on, I'm still standing here, aren't I? It's just everyone's different opinion. Nothing is fact. I was chain and go, and when I needed to chain up, and if the road was not closed, I chained up and I went. And I'm still standing. I'm not advocating anything. I'm saying you got to make smart decisions in the wintertime. To give me your opinion, saying if you got to put the chains on, you should stop, is just your opinion. You got to make smart decisions out there in the wintertime, everyone. So I know Pam is not so-called chain and go. I'm not even sure what their policy is. We can check on that. But just because you have to slap some chains on, all right, you have to make smart decisions in the wintertime. Let's talk chemicals as well. Chemicals are important. You have to have this stuff beforehand. The gel that you put in there now, here's the thing, a lot of new people, us older drivers don't really run into this too much, hopefully. But let's say you have a run in Laredo and you fill up in Laredo and you're running up there and it's getting pretty cold in Missouri, right? Well, Laredo isn't gonna have the fuel that's actually treated already with the anti-gel in it already, because in Missouri, north over there, the TAs, the Petros, Flying J's, Pilot, Loves, they actually add the anti-gel in there. What's important is you need to be aware of where you're at, where you're filling up, and always have anti-gel with you. If you guys watched me the last couple years, you guys remember where I got my chemicals in bulk from? It was Michigan Petroleum, and I bought it in bulk, so it was like $235. Buy all my chemicals, including the winterized anti-gel. That would have costed me over $600 at the truck stop. So I had everything on hand that I needed in the winter time. I didn't have to get stuck somewhere with the fuel gelling. I had everything available to me. So if you're in Laredo and you fill up and you're heading up to Missouri, you got to get the anti-gel in there before you get to Missouri where it's cold, or Iowa. You know why? Because the anti-gel has to work its way through the system. So if you just head to Iowa and all of a sudden you see it gets cold and I'll throw some anti-gel in there, that's not going to do you a whole lot of good. It's got to work itself. I always think maybe 100 to 150 miles beforehand, get that gel in there. So when you get into the cold area, the winter, the anti-gel is already in there. Follow the instructions, follow whatever company you work for. Pam has a thing where it tells you what you should put in certain temperatures and how much you should put in. Follow that, follow the directions, read it, and just really be mindful of where you're at and where you're heading. Every winter, someone will fuel up in Laredo, head up north, and have their stuff gel on them. Everything is so preventable if you just do some preparation. Also, I wanted to talk about, and I'll do all week talking about winter driving. Chemicals are just as important. Like for example, I have Windex in my car, and I always wipe the mirrors down with the Windex. In the wintertime, I actually, in the Windex bottle, I put in that the stuff for the wipers that are below, like 30 below zero. That way I can still clean my mirrors and it won't freeze up. So if you just use, a lot of people know this, but if you just use the Windex on your side mirrors there, they will freeze up. So I throw in that negative 30 degrees windshield wipers in the Windex and use that. Also, when it's really snowing hard, here's the last little tidbit you may not know. I've said this before in a video, but a lot of defrosters, some are good, some are not. But if you know your visor, if you pop your visor down and bring it down, all of them down, and get them closer to your window, that keeps the heat from escaping. So you have your visors at an angle down there, and it'll keep that heat in there. And you'd be surprised how much better your windows will look and how much more heat stays on there, and you won't get as much, you just won't get as much building up on the wipers where you may have to stop and get the ice and everything off. This is Trucker Wayne on Facebook, Wayne Craig on LinkedIn. Hopefully you're enjoying these winter driving tips. Remember, everyone, you can go to pamdrivingjobs.com, and then you don't have to be an employee, but you could have and look for jobs in your area. And when something pops up looking for Pam, it'll actually go right to your inbox. Be safe and healthy out there. I am out.